Hello there, very good evening. This is the weekend edition of Prime Time News on TV1 for the News First, where the people come first. I'm Martin Satyanesan. Let's start off with a look at the headlines for this evening.
Radella tragedy. 53 of the injured continue to receive treatment. 4 from the same family among the dead. Local government election to be held on the 9th of March. Is the election expenditure bill a tactic to delay the election?
නීතිගත වෙලා නේ තියෙන්නේ ඒක. කතානායකතුමා අස්සම් කරපු ගම ඒක නීතිගත වෙනවා.
දැන් මේ වෙනකොට නැවත වරක් මුදල් කියන කාරණේ මතු කරලා මැතිවරණ කල් දාන්න උත්සාහ කරනවා.
To interfere with an election is a punishable offence, AKD stresses.
මැතිවරණයට හිතාමතා බාධාවක් ඇති කරොත් අවුරුදු 3ක් හිරේ.
What were the key discussions held during Indian External Affairs Minister's visit to Sri Lanka? President discusses 13th Amendment with TNA Sambandhan.
Now those stories in detail. 43 people who were admitted to the Nuwara hospital after the fatal motor accident in Radella Nanoya have been discharged. This was confirmed by the director of the Nuwara hospital, Dr. Mahendra Senanayaka. He added 6 people have been transferred to the National Hospital in Colombo for further treatment, while 4 others continue to be treated at the Nuwara hospital. Meanwhile, authorities have decided to temporarily suspend heavy vehicles from utilizing the Radella shortcut route following last night's tragedy.
7 lives were lost in an untimely manner in the accident that took place last night. 6 people travelling in the van and the driver of the 3-wheeler died as a result of the collision. The ill-fated van had been en route to Nuwara from Dikoya. Its passengers were the families of 2 brothers. They had been on their way to visit a sick relative. "55-year-old Abdul Raheen, his 45-year-old wife Aisha Fatima, their 13-year-old daughter Fatima Mariam and 8-year-old daughter Fatima Nabiha were killed in the crash. They were residents of Dikoya, Hatton. The eldest daughter, who sustained serious injuries, is currently being treated at the ICU at the Nuwara District General Hospital. She was expected to sit for her advanced level examination this year. 14-year-old Ahmed Sahin, Abdul Raheen's nephew, did not survive the crash either. Sahin, who was a student of St. John's Bosco College in Hatton and was particularly talented in football and handball. The driver of the van, 25-year-old Nesraj Pillai, who was a resident of Kudagama, Dikoya, also lost his life in the tragedy. "25-year-old Shanmugaraj, the driver of the 3-wheeler involved in the crash, also died. He was residing in Nanoya. The disastrous crash had taken place along the Radella shortcut road in Nanoya. A bus carrying students from Thurston College, Colombo, had been returning with 6 other buses after an educational visit. The bus travelling from Nuwara to Colombo had collided with a van and a 3-wheeler moving towards Nuwara from Dikoya. The bus had veered off the road and gone down a precipice thereafter. The road has been identified as a location that is accident-prone. While several fatal accidents had occurred over the years, signboards cautioning motorists have also been posted along the route. 53 people, including teachers, parents and 42 11th grade students, had been on the bus at the time of the accident. Authorities and locals had come together to transport students and injured passengers of the van and 3-wheeler to the hospital after the bus had plunged into a precipice around 50 meters deep.
පොලිසිය මාත්‍ර ආර්ඩිය මාත්‍ර ඔච්චර බෝඩ් ගාලා තියෙනවා ෂෝට් කටේ බයින්ඩ් එපා කියලා. ඒ රීදුරු මාත්‍ර මේව කරන්නේ. ළමයි කීදෙනෙක් අසරණද? ෂෝට් කටේ මම එච්චර තෙල් ඉතුරු ගන්න පුළුවන් ෂෝට් කටේ ගියා කියලා. ඔය ඔච්චර රවුම් පාරක් මේ ලස්සන අතර තියෙන්නේ. බස් හතරක් පා ගියා. රේස් නේ යන්නේ. පොඩි ළමයි රේස් නේ යන්නේ.
Barriers have been set up to prevent large and heavy vehicles from passing through the road after last night's incident. The police temporarily placed this today. However, the people are asking for this to be permanent, to permanently stop large and heavy vehicles from passing through this road to prevent another incident, another catastrophe, and to save more lives.
2 teachers, 3 parents and the driver of the bus were among those hospitalized, apart from several students. Minister of Education Dr. Susil Premajanta visited the Nuwara Hospital to assess the situation. The Nanuya police are conducting an investigation into the accident.
The
driver of the bus is a 62-year-old resident of Horanab. We still have not uncovered a definitive reason for the crash. The driver of the bus has sustained injuries and is being treated at the Nuwara Hospital. The driver of the van has died. On the face of it, there is negligence on the part of the driver of the bus. However, we cannot be certain. We do not know if there was a mechanical error or another issue. Investigations still have not revealed the reason.
පැහැදිලිව තවදුරටත් මේ වචන නිලධාරීන් විසින් නිගමනය කළ නැහැ. ඒ වගේම මේ වචනවලදී අනාවරණය වීමක් වෙලා නැහැ.
Sri Lanka's election headquarters.
The local government elections will be held on the 9th of March 2023. This was confirmed by the National Election Commission. The accepting of nominations for the local government election ended at 12 noon today.
Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna. The Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna submitted nominations for all local government officers in the Colombo district today with the participation of the district party leaders. The SLPP handed over nominations to the Hambantota district today under the leadership of Namal Rajapaksa.
The Ministry of Finance, the President and the government need to understand the current economic situation. They need to present the details and take the necessary actions. So I think as political parties, we should be ready for the election. But the Election Commissioner and the government, the Ministry of Finance can consider the situation in the country and take necessary action. But that does not mean that the government is attempting to postpone the election.
The SLPP handed over the nominations for Kalutara district under the leadership of the district leader Rohita Abegunawardana. The Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna is contesting the Kandy Municipal Council and the Navalapitiya Municipal Council under the symbol of the elephant. The SLPP handed over nominations to contest in alliance with other provincial institutions in the district. District leader Johnston Fernando handed over nominations representing the SLPP for the Kurunegala district today.
Nominations are given because there's an election. So we have confidence that the election will be held. If there is a financial issue, it is the government's responsibility to consider it. But we are ready for an election.
Samagi Jana Balavegya. The Samagi Jana Balavegya, with the participation of the party district leaders, handed over the nominations for the Colombo district today.
Today was the first step in the fight to revive this country. We tell Ranil Wickremesinghe, do not postpone the election. We challenge you to step up and contest.
Samagi Jana Balavegya nominations for the Matale district was handed over by a group including Rohini Kumari Vijayaratna. The Samagi Jana Balavegya submitted nominations for all local government bodies in the Putlam district.
All tricks are being played to delay the election. If there's a conspiracy to block the election, why are they accepting the bond money? In that case, this is a robbery.
The SJB submitted nominations for districts including Kegol, Polonnaruwa, Anuradhapura, Badulla and Ampara.
We are not fools. They are trying to bring rules and postpone this. If there are no funds, then why do we need ministers?
මුදල් නැත්තම් ඇමතිවරු මොකටද?
National People's Power. The National People's Power Executive Committee member Vasantha Samarasinghe submitted nominations as the Anuradhapura district mayoral candidate.
නිසා ආණ්ඩුව ගේම් තවමත් ඉවර කරලා නැහැ. දැන් ඡන්දෙන් කට්ටි පයින්න හදනවා. නිසා අපි රනිල්ලට රාජපක්ෂලාට කියනවා කට්ටි පයින්න පුළුවන් වලාවක නෙමෙයි රට තියෙන්නේ. දැන් රට ගොඩ ගන්නවා කියලා ආපු රනිල් තවත් කට්ටි පයින්න නම් හදන්නේ. රනිල් අවසාන කට්ටේ මේ පයින්න.
A group including Samantha Vidyaratna submitted nominations for the post of Mayor of Badulla under the symbol of the compass. National People's Power submitted nominations for all local government bodies in the Colombo district.
බැරි වෙලාවත් මේ මැතිවරණය
As a National People's Power, we warn that if the government makes an attempt under the guise of the Constitution to stop this election, we will force that decision to be reversed by stepping out on the streets if necessary.
ආපස්සට හරවනවායි කියන එක ජාතික ජන බලවේගයේ විදියට කියනවා.
United National Party. The United National Party submitted its nominations today and later commented on the Colombo mayoral candidate.
මමයි කොළඹ නගර සභාවට නගරාධිපති ධුරයට
I am contesting for the post of Mayor of Colombo from the United National Party. The United National Party led Colombo for 150 years. We expect that the UNP will once again lead Colombo.
ඒක තමයි අපේ බලාපොරොත්තු. අපි සූදානම්.
කොළඹ නගරාධිපතිට කවුද පත් කරන්නේ?
ඒක පක්ෂයෙන්
It is done by the party. We are running for the Colombo City Council. We are in that group. There are several parties that are supporting the government and building the country at this time.
අවදි සහාය වෙන පක්ෂ කීපයක්ම.
The UNP submitted nominations for Kandy with the participation of Shantini Kongahage.
මෙවර අපි ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්න කටයුතු කරන්නේ ගමේ වැඩසටහන ජනතා
We hope to win this election for the people as representatives of the president.
මේ මැතිවරණය පවත්වන්න.
Sri Lanka Freedom Party. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party handed over nominations for the Polonnaruwa district today. This was attended by Sri Lanka Freedom Party leader and former President Maithripala Sirisena.
අපි මැතිවරණ ව්‍යාපාරයේ මෙතෙන් සිට
We begin the election journey here. We have the strength and ability to overcome any obstacle or challenges to win from the Polonnaruwa district and all other districts of the country.
ලංකාවේ සෑම ප්‍රදේශයකමත් ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්න.
ඡන්දදායකින් 1,68,11,340.
Over 16.8 million people have registered to vote for the election across 13,700 election centres. Mayors and chairpersons of local bodies are already carrying out development projects, event openings, school book donations, etc. And these are being done using local government resources. We have also received reports regarding transfer and new appointments from the central government. We urge the government and all the parties involved to support the Election Commission and ensure that we make this election, which is being held during a challenging period, a peaceful and non-violent election. They try to delay the election through cabinet decisions and appointing a delimitation committee. We also had serious doubts whether they were trying to delay the election by bringing bills through the parliament. But so far we believe this is not an obstacle. They tried to postpone the election by threatening the members of the Election Commission. Now they are trying to postpone the election once again by raising the issue of election costs. But the country has managed to thwart all efforts so far.
මේ රට සමත් වෙලා තිබෙනවා. මැතිවරණ කොමිසම සභාව සමත් වෙලා තිබෙනවා.
Will the election be delayed through the regulation of the Election Expenditure Bill? Minister of Justice, Prisons Affairs and Constitutional Reforms, Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa commented on the matter.
එතකොට මේ අවස්ථාවේදී
If the election is to be postponed because of the regulation of Election Expenditure Bill, it would have happened by now. They objected, alleging that it will be postponed, but if that's the case, it would have happened by now. Now, as soon as the Speaker signs, it will become legal.
කතානායකතුමා අත්සන් කරපු ගමන් ඒක නීතිගත වෙනවා.
Leader of the National People's Power, Andrekumara Disanayake, says under an NPP government, the law will be enforced against those who carry out illegal orders.
මැතිවරණ කොමිසමේ සමාජිකයන් දෙන්නෙකුට මරණ තර්ජනය.
2 members of the Election Commission have received death threats via phone call. We asked Ranil Wickremesinghe and his government to please find out who made these threats. I asked the police, if possible, check Ranil Wickremesinghe's phone. We're not sure about him. He's very aggressive. If there's no money in the treasury, then we must hold an election to determine who actually emptied the treasury. Every leader who comes into power empties the treasury treasury. Then they go on to say that they don't have the money for an election. What sort of excuses are these? When Parliament decides to provide funds for the election, can the Treasury Secretary decline? Remember, if the Treasury Secretary is not allocating funds accordingly, then he is obstructing elections. If anyone willfully obstructs an election, they can be sent to prison for 3 years. Neil Hapuhinna sent a letter to the district secretaries directing them not to place bonds. That is an obstruction. Under an NPP government, we will send them to jail for 3 years. We say this to all government officials and police officers. Do not implement illegal orders. Obstructing an election is an offence.
They are
strategizing various tricks to keep the election from happening. That is what they want. But at the same time, we can see that they are not successful. There is a possibility that the people's opposition against the government will shift to another group within the existing system. Then even the outcomes of the Aragale will go to waste. A mere change of character and a change of party will eventually lead us to face the same old situation, because as we know, this economic crisis cannot be solved soon.
පක්ෂමාරුවකින් අවසානයේදී පරණ තත්වයටම අපිට මුහුණ දෙන්න සිද්ධ වෙනවා. මොකද අපි දන්න මේ ආර්ථික අර්බුදය ඉතා ඉක්මනින් විසඳන්න පුළුවන් කමක් නැහැ.
Every possible tactic was used to postpone this election. But one thing that is very clear from our history is that the people responded appropriately against every regime which tried to take away the people's right to vote. Today, the people of our country are repeatedly demanding a significant change in the political culture. We no longer believe in a savior or a single leader. That philosophy was a complete failure. We did not produce these groups. They were the ones that went from door to door campaigning for these groups and delivered this country to their hands. We were never behind this.
This was the situation at the Matale district secretariat after an independent group nomination was rejected. Police later intervened and removed the candidate from the location.
Paddy farmers are facing a new challenge. After suffering at the hands of the failed decisions of the Gotabaya Rajapaksa government in terms of fertilizer policy, farmers are now battling the yellowing of crops. According to the Ministry of Agriculture, about 10% of the entire paddy cultivation this season has been harmed due to many reasons, including this disease.
A team from the Ministry of Agriculture have begun an investigation regarding the harm being suffered by paddy cultivations. The officers of the Batalakuda Rice Research Institute have also started field investigations on the matter and will submit a research report on the matter in the near future. The yellowing of crops is now being reported from all districts of the island. This is a situation for crops in the Anuradhapura Mahaveli area. 700 acres out of 1,200 acres of fields in the Kurunagala Atharagalla business have already turned yellow.
පොහොර වර්ග තියෙනවා සේරම ගැහුවා. අපි දියර පොහොර ගැහුවා. ඒ ගැහුවා කියලා කිසිම මේකේ වෙනසක් වෙලා නැහැ. එන්න එන්න මේ රෝග තත්ත්වය මෙව වෙනවා. කුෂිකාර්ම උපදේශන මහතුරු දෙන උපදේශ වලටත් අපි තෙල් පොහොර ගහනවා. නමුත් අද වෙනකොට කිසිම දෙයක් සාර්ථක තත්ත්වයක් නැහැ. අද අපි රත්තරන් බඩු උකස් තියලා එව්වට වෙනදා වාගේ නෙමේ 125 30 පොලිය. එව්වා ගෙවන්න ඕනේ අපි. දරුවෝ ඉස්කෝලේ යනවා. බොහොම දුක්ඛිත අසන්න තත්ත්වයකට පත් වෙලා ඉන්නේ. මාස එකමාරක් වෙච්ච ගොයන්. මෙහෙම බලන්න. මේ වගේ කරලක් එයිද? ඉතින් මේවා පිටුරුවක් කන්න පිටුරුවක් නැහැ මේ වගේ.
The situation in Ampara is no different. Yellowing of crops is also visible in the paddy fields of Ambilipitia. While the situation continues to worsen, the Department of Agriculture remains silent, only pointing out the losses. Neither the Ministry of Agriculture nor any of its agencies have put forward a comprehensive program to control this disease. A majority of Sri Lanka's rice production is provided by the harvests from the Maha season. Agriculture officials also remained silent when a decision was made by the previous government to ban the import of chemical fertilizer overnight. In the end, Sri Lanka lost 2 seasons and as a result incurred huge expenses for rice imports. This resulted in the cost of rice increasing rapidly. As croplands are being destroyed due to a number of diseases which are yet to be clearly identified, hopes for the Maha season have also been shattered. But the public servants who work at the institutions maintained by the people's tax money remain silent. Will this drag Sri Lanka further into an abyss?
Meanwhile, protests continue today demanding the release of the convener of the Inter-University Students' Federation, Wasantha Mudalige. The protests are also against the cost of living and taxes.
The protest, organised by Youth for Change and the residents of Kegol, was held in Valimanna Thota, Kegol. The campaign on gathering affidavits on behalf of Wasantha Mudalige was held today as well. Affidavits were gathered at the Thelwatha Junction in Negombo today.
News First with the people.
Foreign Minister Ali Sabri says during discussions held with the Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, much attention was paid towards establishing Trincomalee as an energy hub.
During Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar's 2-day official visit, which ended yesterday, political, economic and social issues between the two countries have been discussed at length.
What was the focal point of the discussion?
When inquired by Newsfirst, Minister Ali Sabri said much of the focus of the discussion centered on establishing Trincomalee as an energy hub. The Minister of Foreign Affairs says the project includes the Trincomalee oil tank farm. But Minister Sabri emphasized that no agreement had been signed yet in this regard. When Newsfirst spoke to State Minister of Foreign Affairs Tharaka Balasurya, he echoed similar sentiments. He said during discussions the Indian External Affairs Minister had paid special attention to Trincomalee, suggesting that it be transformed into an energy export hub. According to State Minister Balasurya, Dr. S. Jaishankar had explained that several years ago, when Nepal was faced with an energy crisis, India had stepped in to supply power. But today Nepal has moved into hydropower generation, and according to Dr. Jaishankar, Nepal is exporting energy to India. State Minister Tharaka Balasurya told Newsfirst that according to the Indian External Affairs Minister, Sri Lanka can utilize locations such as Trincomalee and Mannar to become like Nepal and export energy to India in the future.
What is the Indian media reporting?
Indian media has also been reporting extensively on the Indian External Affairs Minister's official visit to Sri Lanka. The Hindu reported that India has promised to implement large investment projects in Sri Lanka. According to the report, discussions were held with regard to implementing renewable energy projects in 3 islands in the north of Sri Lanka. Following discussions held with the Indian External Affairs Minister, President Ranil Wickremesinghe met with the leader of the Tamil National Alliance, R. Sambandhan. R. Sambandhan told Newsfirst they discussed the full implementation of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution and the release of land. Speaking at a media briefing yesterday, Dr. S. Jaishankar stressed on the importance of implementing the 13th Amendment fully, as well as conducting a provincial election early.
India's government has informed the Supreme Court of India that steps are being taken to declare Adams Bridge as a national monument. Appearing in an Indian court in this regard, India's Solicitor General Tushar Mehta made these remarks. Hindu devotees believe that Adams Bridge is the bridge that Rama used to rescue Sita. The Adams Bridge extends 50 kilometers from Tamil Nadu, India, and Mannar Island off the coast of the Sea of Sri Lanka. The Sethu Samudram shipping canal project began in 2005 during the Progressive People's Workers Party. BJP senior Subramaniam Swamy, who drafted a complaint regarding this, says that the Adams Bridge must be made a national monument. He also says that the Sethu Samudram shipping canal project must be halted. Subramaniam Swamy has drafted a petition seeking speedy legal action regarding this court case as well. When the case was taken up for consideration, the Indian government said that steps are currently being taken to declare the bridge as a national monument.
Sri Lanka's Deputy Treasury Secretary Priyantha Ratnayake says discussions on debt restructuring assurance with China are at the final stage. He made the statement speaking to foreign media.
According to Reuters, Deputy Treasury Secretary Priyantha Ratnayake said, quote, Sri Lanka expects to get China's backing for its debt restructuring plan within days to help unlock a $2.9 billion loan from the International Monetary Fund, end quote. India has already told the IMF it strongly supports Sri Lanka's debt restructuring plan, and China, the island's largest bilateral lender, is the last major creditor that has yet to agree to the deal. The Deputy Treasury Secretary said, quote, it is difficult to give details of the debt restructuring negotiations because of the confidentiality of discussions, end quote. He added, quote, however, we can say that discussions with China are at the final stage and we expect the assurances in the next few days, end quote. Ratnayake said China has been engaging with Sri Lanka consistently, and Sri Lanka's President Ranil Wickremesinghe had earlier held discussions this month with the head of China's Exim Bank, which is a key creditor. He assured that there was no delay in the negotiations with China.
In more local news, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa says he will strive to create a generation that can win the world.
අපි වැඩ පෙන්නපු නිසා වැඩබැරි ටාසන්ලා ටික කුලප්පු වෙලා. වැඩබැරි ටාසන්ලා ටික තමන්ට ලැබෙන අරමුදල් කැටහොල්ලලා ගන්න සල්ලි ටිකෙන් ලොකුවට රැස්වීම් තියලා ඒ අය හදන්නේ කැටහොල්ලන පරපුරක් නිර්මාණය කරන්න. මගේ උත්සාහය කැටහොල්ලන පරපුරවල් නිර්මාණය කිරීම නෙවෙයි.
My effort is to create a generation who can win the world, to build a generation who will put Sri Lanka first. Whatever anyone does, we currently have a lack of funds and we are bankrupt as a country. We need funds. Who has the best leadership, team and plan to bring revenue into Sri Lanka? You can decide for yourselves who's best suited to do this.
හොඳම නායකත්වය, හොඳම කණ්ඩායම, හොඳම වැඩපිළිවෙල තියෙන්නේ කාටද? අන්න ඒ ප්‍රශ්නයට තමන්ම පිළිතුර සපයා ගන්නකොට තමුන්නාන්සලට හිතා ගන්න පුළුවන් කවුද මේ දේ ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න සුදුසු.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa made these remarks at an event in Gomara, Kadavala.
An exhibition showcasing the achievements of successful Iranian women was held on Friday on the sidelines of the first International Congress for Women of Influence. The event was attended by former First Lady Shiranti Rajapaksa.
The first International Congress for Women of Influence was held in Tehran yesterday, with female guests including wives of heads of state, ministers, vice presidents and parliamentarians from Burkina Faso, Kyrgyzstan, Serbia, Guinea, Niger, Nigeria, Syria, Turkmenistan, Armenia and Sri Lanka. The exhibition saw the achievements of Iranian women entrepreneurs in various fields such as electricity and electronics, medical equipment, technology, innovation centers and home businesses. The event aimed to appreciate women of influence, support and help them grow and promote their creativity and ideas.
A man has died in a shooting near Mahanira Junction along the Rajagiriya-Budgamur road. Police say that two people on a motorcycle entered a shop and opened fire at around 5:30 this evening. The deceased was a 56-year-old male. The highly anticipated Telematics Colombo 2023, a technology event, was held in Colombo yesterday. Telematics Colombo 2023 by Cloud IP presented new solutions for fleet management, Internet of Things sensor tracking, business rights and 3PL in Colombo. Several leading brands were present at the conference. Presentation of new technologies and customer success stories were displayed at the event.
Use of technology. Sensors, it could be simple sensor like humidity or temperature, or it could be some complex machinery in your production line. So ASIC can bring all this information onto one interface. Monitor your water tank, single application. So it is like a purpose-built application for anything that one thing that you want to monitor is available as a single application, or it is available as a multiple device monitoring application.
Are actually helping to answer the question. So why implement IoT and telematics for your business? First of all, obviously, looking at the bottom line, IoT will help you improve the situation with your costs. And in this case, you will have total visibility of what's going on. You will understand the behavior of your clients.
An award ceremony was also held. Cloud IP awarded companies that connected the largest number of telematics devices and implemented the most telematics solutions successfully.
Thank you very much. If you want to...
The final rites of the late Sumitra Piris was held with state honours. This was held at the Colombo Independence Square.
Many people were seen paying their final respects to the late Sumitra Piris in Thimbirigasyaya. Sumitra Piris, who was the assistant director for Lester James Piris's Sandesaya film, was the first Sri Lankan woman to ever have entered the London Film School. While she became the first film editor in Sri Lankan cinema, she was also the first professional cinema director who added the iconic film Gahanu Lamai to the legacy of Sri Lankan cinema history. Her life's work in Sri Lankan cinema was seen in 10 films that she produced during her glory days. The late Sumitra Piris's funeral was held at the Colombo Independence Square this evening.